Yo, what's going on everybody? Shri Kanase here. So what are the characteristics of a winning Google Ads product, and exactly how do you know when you have a winning Google Ads product? Now this is actually one of the most asked questions, because while this is very common to figure out with Facebook, it's not so easy to really know when you have a winning product with Google Ads, and there are a lot of factors why this is the main reason. But knowing exactly when you have a winning product gives you the ability to actually scale it to 5, 6, 7 figures and actually get the profit that you want. So in this video, we're going to be diving into the specific characteristics of a winning product, how you know when to identify a winning product, and going inside my own Google Ads account to show you guys a real life example. But there's one thing you're gonna wanna do before we even start this video, and that is smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Literally, it'll take just 2 seconds and I'll appreciate you very much. Alright, thank you. But now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So how do you know when you have a winner with Google Ads? Now, what are the characteristics of a winning product with Google? As I mentioned, there are a lot of specific characteristics as to what makes a winning product with Google. But the very first thing, before even looking into any of the other stuff, is the number of sales which the product has. Now this is one metric which I always live by, and that is if a product has more than 3 sales, then it is classified as a potential winner. Anything below that with Google, and you can't even classify it as a winner. And one thing for those of you that don't already use Google Ads is that products take a long time to get fully tested with Google, and when your Google shopping campaign actually start spending a large portion of the budget on this one specific product and you actually start getting sales for it, that's a very big sign that you're onto something good. But regardless, you want to make sure that that specific product has more than 3 sales in total before making any kinds of decision. Now, if your product has 3 sales, it needs to match the second criterion, and that is some form of consistency. When we refer to sales here, we're referring to consistent sales. We're not referring to something where you get a sale at the beginning of the month and then midway through the month, on the 15th of the month, you get another sale, and then at the end of the month you get another sale. There you go, you have 3. It doesn't quite work like that, because real winning products, just like with Facebook or any other marketing platform for that matter, show some kind of consistency. And that's the same with Google. When I say consistency, what I'm saying is that there should be sales every single day for that product, or possibly every other day or so. If it's like a sale a week, then that's not a real winning product. But on the other hand, if it's like a sale every day and you have 3 sales so far, or it's getting you sale every day or 2 days, even that's considered a small winner. So consistency plays a big part in determining whether you have a winning product or not. But now that brings me to my third point, which is that you're at least at the break even or profitable state. A lot of people have a product on their store where they get 3 sales and they think that it's time to scale the product, but then when they look deeper into the metrics, they see that they spent $500 just to get 3 sales. If you find yourself in a situation similar to that, and you may not have spent $500 for 3 sales, but if you have spent way over your profit margin to get those 3 sales, that does not classify as a winning product, because it's not at the break even point, or it's not profitable as well. Remember, when it comes to Google Ads or just Shopify in general, you're trying to earn more and more profits. You're not just trying to get more and more sales. So if you try to scale a specific product, or if you think a product which is not profitable is a winner, that's going to lead you to make some wrong decisions with that specific product, and it could actually cause you to lose a lot of money. So before you even classify it as a winning product, remember to look at whether it is at the break even point or if it's profitable. If it's profitable, that's even better. But if it's break even, then a few changes to maybe the bids, the budget, or just on the product page itself could make it really, really profitable, which is why I classify those kinds of products as winners as well. But overall, with the profitability of that specific sale, or all of the sales in total, you should also be looking at a low cost per purchase. Meaning if you get the product on AliExpress for $10 and then you sell it on your store for $50, your cost per purchase should be much lower than $40, because $40 would be classified as your break even point. We don't want to be at the break even, we want to be profitable. So you should be aiming at maybe $20 per purchase or $30 even. But that is the third criteria which I look at to make sure that the product that I'm currently selling is actually a real winning product. Well, that brings me to my fourth point, which is the keyword search volume, or the impression share in total. Now, when it comes to Google Ads, unlike Facebook ads, there's kind of a cap as to how much you can scale a specific product, and that cap is your keyword search volume per month, or the impression share you're getting in total at the moment. If you find that your keyword search volume is only 10,000 per month, you're gonna have a very, very hard time scaling the product to $1 million days or $100,000 days. And that's simply because your cap stops at 10,000. In a perfect case scenario, you could get all of the 10,000 people to purchase from you and still get those $100,000 days. But in the real world, that does not happen. Usually you'll see that maybe 2%, 3%, 4%, sometimes even 5% of the total search volume is coming to your website to purchase from you. And when you're already working with small numbers like 10,000 for the overall monthly search volume, you're already limiting yourself. So this is kind of the fourth thing I look at to see if that product is scalable and a real winner. What I do is I go on the keyword planner tool and I try to just search up the main keywords or just do an analysis one more time of the specific keyword or the main keyword for that product. And I try to see what the total search volume is or if there are any more keywords which I can try adding to my descriptions or titles. And the main reason why we do that is because we want to increase this cap maybe from 10,000 to 100,000. The more you have, the better. Usually 20,000 is what I always recommend, the minimum, but the more you have, again, the better it is, because then you can have a big way to scale upwards and hit those $5,000, $10,000 days with Google. And that is what separates those people doing $100 a day and those doing $10,000 a day with Google Ads. And that is their impression share and their keyword search volume for their winning products. But before we dive deeper into the specific metrics, which I'll look at, which is the next portion of this video, I want to go ahead and take you guys over to my Google Ads account to show you guys a little bit more about the specific stats I'm currently receiving for my winning product. So right now I'm inside my main general testing campaign for one of my main general stores. And if we look at all time, and if we sort it by the most amount of conversions at the top, we can see that there are a lot of products which have currently gotten me sales with this specific store. But the real winners are those ones here. First of all, if you look at the conversion value over cost, meaning my return on ad spend, and again, this is my general testing campaign, now my scaling campaign. Within this general testing campaign, this specific product spent $377.25 to get me 13 sales in total, but it got me a total conversion value of $3,289.92. So clearly this is very profitable, and right away I know this is a winning product simply because of the stats. Moving on to the next product. Now this one got me a return ad spend of 4.14 and it spent $55 to get me $230 back. So not the big winner as product number one, but nonetheless a good product. And again, mostly we're looking at the ROAS, the cost, and how much in sales we did in total with that specific product. But if you continue scrolling down, we'll get to those products which kind of spent over and didn't get us the results that we were looking at. So if you continue scrolling down and get to a specific product which is not the best, we come to this specific one right here. So this one, even though the price is $234, it spent $57 and only got me one sale. While the return on ad spend is not bad, nonetheless, this cost is kind of increasing more than I want. So this would not be a real winning product. And in addition, we're looking at all time, but in total, this only got me one sale. So clearly, this is not a real big winning product. But I want to now take you guys over to the Google Doc one more time and go over the specific metrics which I actually look at to determine whether a product is a real winner or not. And there are, again, several metrics I look at. The first metric is my click-through rate. So if you go back to the Google Ads account and look at the specific CTR of my winners, we can kind of identify a common pattern. So the first product had a CTR of 2.42, and this one had a very low CTR, but it was performing really well. So as you guys can see, not all of the metrics that we go over always have to match, but nonetheless, you'll see that it's a very common thing for the metrics to match. But the first metric was, of course, the CTR greater than 1%. And as you guys saw, within a lot of these products so far, the CTR is indeed more than 1%. Usually you want to have it much higher than 1%. As you can see, some products have 3% CTR, and my main winning product is 2.42 because the CTR determines a lot of things with Google Ads. Number one, it determines your quality score and how much you're bidding for each sale. And number two, it determines basically how much audience is coming onto your website. So these things, again, make a big difference with the way your ads are shown and how much you're spending for that single sale. But in addition to that, usually the CPC is less than 50 cents. Now, this is not always the case, simply because if you're selling a product that's $1,000 in total per order, then that's a different story. But in this case, majority of dropshippers should have a CPC of less than 50 cents. So as you can see for my main winning product, even though this product is about $300, my CPC is 14 cents. So as you guys can see, very low and much lower than the 50 cent metric. And if we continue scrolling down, we can see 19 cents, 14 cents, 14 cents. So overall, very low cost per link clicks, and that is what we want to be aiming at. But in addition to that, you want to be noticing that 70% to 100% of your budget is allocated to that specific product within the campaign each day. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? Well, let's assume that you're running a general testing campaign right now at $100 a day and you have a lot of products in there, but you start noticing that you're starting to get sales for this one specific product. And when you go inside this general testing campaign, you notice that out of the $100 in total budget of your campaign, $70 were spent on that specific product, or $70 to $100 in total. That is when you know that that specific product could be a potential winning product, especially if it matches other criteria at the top where it is consistently getting you sales. In that case, that is definitely a product. The best way to kind of keep the results coming in is to create a brand new campaign with just that specific product. And if you want to know how to scale your campaigns, I've actually made a video on that you can check out. I'll leave the link in the description. Watch that after this video. But in addition to the 70 to 100% budget allocation, we want to be getting a minimum of 1,000 impressions every day for the specific product. So if we go back and look at the specific chart to just today and look at the specific impression for the product which spent the most, as you guys can see, this specific product, which is $280 on my store, the same one that we saw previously, spent about $10 so far, and with just $10 spent, it got me 3,000 impressions. These metrics show 0 conversions, but I got a lot of sales today, about $4,000 in sales today. It will most likely get updated by tomorrow, but nonetheless, with just $10 spent, I got 3,000 impressions, and that kind of lets me know that this product is in huge demand, because otherwise it'll be hard to kind of just scale the product or even know if the product is wanted by the audience or not. But what do you do after all of these metrics match? How can you kind of take it a step forward and continue scaling? Well, along with watching my scaling video on Google Shopping ads and doing the things I mentioned in that video, you should be doing several optimizations with your specific campaign. Now, first thing I always like to do is I like to look at my keyword section of my Google Shopping campaign, and I like to look at my winning products, meaning those products which got me sales or are spending the most amount of money. Once I identify those main keywords, I'm basically going into my Shopify store and I'm listing those keywords out in my titles as well as my descriptions. Because again, you don't target the audience with Google Shopping ads, the audience comes to you. So to kind of guide Google Shopping ads to get you the best results, you need to do it a little bit of a favor, and that is by simply having those winning keywords inside your store for that specific product. In addition to that, you should also be excluding the bad keywords, meaning getting rid of those keywords which spent over your profit margin with 0 sales, or those keywords with the very, very low CTRs, because keywords usually have a very high CTRs, and if one of the keywords in your campaign has a low CTR, that tells you that that may not be the best keyword to be ranking for. But in addition to that, last thing I usually do is raise the bids and start raising the budget. Usually raising the bids and budget go hand in hand. So if you raise the budget by $100, you should also be looking into raising the bids. Otherwise, your campaign is not going to spend the full $100. But this is my general optimization that I do usually after identifying my main winning product along with scaling it. But if you found any type of value in this video, make sure to smash that like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.